Ah, Christmas. Well, the notion of peace on earth and goodwill towards men makes this the warmest time of the year. On the silver screen, Christmas isn't always quite so cozy.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
In fact, many of our favorite action flicks use the holidays as a backdrop, with some of them using the yuletide setting to add an extra layer of hopelessness to the proceedings. I'm looking at you, First Blood and To Live and Die in LA. Another blue Christmas classic, however, is director Martin McDonagh's first feature-length film, In Bruges, a darkly comic character study of two hitmen who set up shop in the titular quaint city in Belgium. The two men are beautifully played by Colin Farrell and Gleeson, whose pairing was so potent that McDonagh reteamed them 14 years later for the Banshees of Inisherin.
This whole being in Bruges thing, just to give you one last joyful memory before you died.
In Bruges? The Bahamas, maybe? Why fucking Bruges?
Suppose it's cheaper.
Ken, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. If I'd grown up on a farm and was retarded, Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't.
In this one, Colin Farrell plays a conscience-stricken young hitman named Ray, who's suicidal after accidentally killing a child in a hit gone wrong. And oh yeah, if that wasn't dark enough, he also killed a priest during confession for good measure. But that one wasn't an accident.
I killed a little boy. You keep bringing up a fucking lollipop, man.
You didn't mean to kill a little boy.
I know I didn't mean to.
He's being watched over by Gleeson's Ken, a veteran contract killer who, unbeknownst to Ray, is actually supposed to execute him once ordered to do so by their boss, the vicious crime lord Harry, played by the always awesome Ralph Fiennes, who's particularly good here.
The boy is suicidal, Harry. He's a walking dead man. Keeps going on about hell and purgatory.
When I phoned you yesterday, did I ask you, Ken, will you do me a favour and become Ray's psychiatrist, please? No. What I think I asked you was, could you go blow his fucking head off for me?
Harry's an interesting story guy. While a vicious boss, he's also a somewhat loving family man, and the reason he wants Ken to delay killing Ray is that he wants the young man to enjoy a few days of peace at Christmas time in Bruges, which is the lovely village he fondly remembers visiting as a child.
Oh, was you having a nice time seeing all the canals and that? I had a lovely time when I was there. All the canals and the old buildings and that.
When were you here?
When I was 7. Last happy holiday I fucking had.
In Bruges was badly handled by Focus Features when they put it out in 2008. Despite the Christmas setting and the high-profile cast, the film wasn't released in time for awards consideration in 2007 and was put out in theaters in February of 2008. While well-received critically, it was only a modest box office success and almost wholly ignored by the Academy at the end of the year, only nabbing a Best Original Screenplay nomination.
Purgatory's kind of like the in-betweeny one. You weren't really shit, but you weren't all that great either. Like Tottenham.
The incredible cast was overlooked, which seems unthinkable now, but In Bruges has endured more than a lot of other more high-profile films that year. Typically, In Bruges isn't really considered a Christmas movie, despite the setting, as the holiday is essentially irrelevant to the plot. Yet, one could also make the case that thematically, this is more of a Christmas movie than most Christmas classics, as it's about redemption, friendship, and yes, even peace on earth and goodwill towards men. It was marketed as a kind of Guy Ritchie-style crime thriller, but it's anything but. Sure, it's darkly comic, with Farrell's young hotshot Ray at odds with the older, wiser Ken, which isn't exactly original in terms of hitman movies, but the execution is so good.
You don't even know they're here hiding out.
What are you talking about?
You don't even know we're not here on the job.
What, on a job?
Yeah.
Here in Bruges?
Yeah.
Here in Bruges? On a job?
Yeah.
I love it as the two characters quickly warm up to each other, bonding over how they both think Bruges is, well, rather overwhelmingly sweet.
But we're coming back to London now and hide out in a proper country where it isn't all just fucking chocolates.
There are some truly hilarious moments here, including Gleeson and Farrell's coke-driven partying with a little person, memorably played by Canadian Jordan Prentice,
Would you like some cocaine?
who turns out to be an unhinged racist.
There's gonna be a war between the blacks and between the whites. You ain't even gonna need a uniform no more. This ain't gonna be a war where you pick your side. Your side's already picked for you.
It's in this scene that the layers of the two hitmen began to get peeled away, with Ken revealed as a grieving widower whose late beloved wife was black.
My wife was black. And I loved her very much. And in 1976, she was murdered by a white man. So, where the fuck am I supposed to stand in all this blood and carnage?
Ray and Ken have each other's backs through it all, and they become good friends, with Ken, unthinkably, having a massive crisis of conscience over his orders to kill Ray, who was planning to kill himself anyway, out of shame.
Ray, don't! Fucking hell! Where the fuck did you come from?
I was behind the thing. What the fuck are you doing, Ray?
What the fuck are you doing?
Nothing.
Against all odds, Ken kind of becomes his guardian angel, who, along with a Belgian drug dealer played by Clemence Poisy, helps convince him that life is worth living, even if he's kind of dooming himself to death anyway. This is like the It's a Wonderful Life of hitman movies. Everything about this movie is pitch perfect, with Farrell, Gleeson, and Fiennes all equal in their brilliance.
There's never been a classic movie made in Bruges until now.
Of course there hasn't. It's a shithole.
Bruges is my hometown, right?
Well, it's still a shithole.
They each bring a whole different kind of energy to the film, with Farrell bringing pathos, Gleeson maturity, and Fiennes manic energy. The incredibly profane dialogue is almost poetic, with Fiennes unleashed here in a way that likely changed his career to a large degree.
Are you trying to wind me up?
No, Harry.
On top of calling me a and calling me kids I might just have to shoot you right here.
He swears a lot, doesn't he?
At this point, he was kind of a British leading man who never quite made it as a movie star. He was in films like Strange Days, which was great, and The Avengers, which most certainly not. And I'm not talking about the Marvel Avengers either. I'm talking about the really bad Avengers from 1998 that killed a couple of careers. Almost Fiennes' actually.
Absolutely, old chap.
Movies like this helped him become a frequently hilarious character actor, and one imagines Wes Anderson must have seen In Bruges, with it playing probably a large role in his casting in the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Thank you again, Monsieur Gustav.
Straighten that cap, Anatole. The pleasure's mine, Herr Schneider.
The stress busters.
These are not
I
acceptable.
fully agree.
Education.
I studied reading and spelling. I started my primary school. I almost finished.
Education, 0.
This movie also solidified Farrell's reputation as a proper actor, with it marking the end of his young movie star phase. People don't remember how omnipresent he was in the early 2000s, and he often showed up in kind of crappy movies like SWAT. He never really fit the mold of a Hollywood star, and he had a couple of really big high-profile flops that actually were fairly good movies, like Oliver Stone's Alexander and Michael Mann's Miami Vice.
You understand the meaning of the word foreboding? As in badness is happening right now.
In Bruges helped make him a character actor, which is something that he's still doing to this day, and I don't think anybody out there would ever say that Farrell is some pretty boy and not a great actor. I mean, he's maybe one of the best actors in the world, right?
I killed a little boy.
In Bruges was the movie that really got people thinking about him in a different way. It also gave Brendan Gleeson a much-deserved leading role. During this period, Gleeson, wasn't exactly short on roles, because between the years 1995 and probably about 2010, him, Tom Wilkinson, Brian Cox, or some combination of the three of them turned up in pretty much every big Hollywood movie, but never as leads. Gleeson got to be the lead here, and he's absolutely terrific.
Totally in your debt. Things that have gone between us in the past. I love you unreservedly for all that.
And became a favorite of both Martin McDonagh and his equally talented brother, John Michael, who also used him to great effect as a leading man in the Guard and Cavalry.
I've had murderous feelings, I have to admit. Referring to the commandment, thou shalt not kill.
What about self-defense?
It's a tricky one, all right.
So if you haven't seen In Bruges in a while, and are looking for something a little less well-worn than some other Christmas classics this holiday season, throw this one on. You might not remember just how moving of a film it really is, despite the non-stop F-bombs and C-words.
You're the You're the now. You've always been a and the only thing that's going to change is you're going to become an even bigger now you have some more kids.
Leave my kids fucking out of it. What have they done?
Hey, has any movie this filthy ever been so wholesome and pure? I think not.
Oh, great day this has turned out to be. I'm suicidal. Me mate tries to kill me. Me gun gets nicked and we're still in fucking Bruges.